The hottest girl in class had a list, a literal ranking of all the guys chasing her. Every day, she'd update it based on their performance. Everyone called it the Simp List. I'd privately scoffed. Any dude who lets himself be treated like that can't be worth much. Somehow, this got back to Brittany. She said, Sarah's right. Guys should have some self-respect. A few days later, she very publicly started dating Chad, this rich kid from another school. One of her simps, completely losing it, kidnapped me. He locked me in the equipment room and, well, it wasn't pretty. It's your fault. You ruined my chances, he screamed. You're gonna pay. Then, I woke up. Brittany was announcing, I'm starting a boyfriend ranking to keep things fair. The classroom erupted. Some guys were pumped, others were indifferent, but most were just curious. Brittany, chin held high, declared, I'm not some gold digger. I value sincerity. I'll post updates on Instagram, totally transparent. You can call me out, even rate the guys. The room buzzed even louder. Last time this happened, I'd laughed. Such a fake-ass pick-me girl, I'd muttered. Later, watching the guys compete, I'd mocked them too. No dignity, groveling at her feet. What quality guys would do this? Back then, I didn't get it. Brittany wasn't interested in these guys. She was after Chad, the rich kid, but Chad was surrounded by girls. Brittany needed something dramatic to catch his attention. This whole boyfriend competition was just a ploy to show off her power. This time, I kept my mouth shut and focused on my textbook. But Brittany called me out. Sarah, you should be on my judging panel. Half the class turned to stare. I fought back the anger and kept reading. You're the best judge of character, Brittany continued. My future happiness depends on you. Remembering what happened last time, I wanted to disappear. I'll pass, I mumbled. Someone jeered. Come on, Sarah, don't be shy. Brittany thinks you're the best. Yeah, you're roommates. You'll be objective, another added. I put down my book, feigning embarrassment. Really, I can't. I'm terrible at judging guys. I'm into girls. Within hours, 2 things were trending on campus. 1, Brittany's Simp List on Instagram. 2, me coming out. Mine was a minor ripple. Everyone was obsessed with the list. Surprisingly, way more guys entered the competition this time. Brittany was ecstatic. I've got so many followers, she shrieked in our dorm room. My other roommate, Jessica, watched her with a mix of envy and resentment. I focused on my homework, a sense of dread creeping in. Brittany was so oblivious. She didn't realize how many girls on campus secretly hated her for turning their crushes into simps. Brittany was sprawled on her bed, surrounded by gifts, a new tablet, a plush rug, expensive skincare, all from her simps. Jessica muttered, I thought you weren't a gold digger. Brittany immediately posted on Instagram, are a few everyday gifts considered gold digging now? Wow. Were my parents too generous? Or are some people just not used to being loved? She added a crying teddy bear emoji. Jessica's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, her face flushed, then grabbed it and ran out. She returned a few minutes later, eyes red. What's wrong? Our other roommate, Ashley, asked. Jessica bit her lip and pulled her bed curtains closed. We heard muffled sobs. Brittany chirped into her phone, I'm not mad. Is this your true love? Because I'm seeing a lot of true love around here. Really? Yours is more sincere. My pen paused, but I didn't look up. Later, Brittany announced, they're taking us to karaoke tonight. Everyone's coming. They being the simps, obviously. Jessica ignored her. I wrinkled my nose. I'll pass. Too much testosterone, not my scene. No matter how much Brittany pushed, I refused. Finally, she gave me a knowing look. Sarah, I never knew you were into girls. Are you jealous? Jealous of what? I asked, genuinely confused. Brittany ticked off her fingers. 1, jealous of all the guys chasing me? 2, is your crush on the list? Is that why you're pretending to be gay? I rolled my eyes. Seriously? I'm not into guys. And I'm sapiosexual. Brittany's face went from red to white. She left without inviting Jessica or me. That night, Jessica said, Sarah, did you see Brittany's post? I shook my head and checked Instagram. What did she post? It was a picture of me studying, taken from the side. The caption read, what do I do? The brainy girl says she only likes smart guys. Loudly crying face, loudly crying face, loudly crying face. Does she think I'm shallow? The comments were filled with simps offering consolation. Isn't she a lesbian? Why is she checking out guys now? If she was so smart, she'd be at Harvard, not here. Don't cry. Brittany, you're the prettiest. I was shaking with rage. Jessica said, be careful what you say around her. She's not a good person. I took several deep breaths to calm down. I couldn't focus on studying and went to bed early. Staring at the ceiling, I berated myself. Why did you engage? Haven't you learned your lesson? Avoid her at all costs. From that night on, I avoided Brittany like the plague. I gave one-word answers or none at all. I marked off the days on my calendar. 47 days until she and Chad went public. 47 days until I was free. Meanwhile, Brittany's life got even more lavish. She posted daily Instagram updates, rating the guys' efforts with photos in a neat 9-grid format. Our dorm was overflowing with gifts, triple breakfast deliveries, triple afternoon milk tea, triple fruit platters. And with a single word from Brittany, we'd get triple gift cards to our favorite online game. Sharing is caring, Brittany would declare. I refused everything. I was always on my period, or my stomach hurt, or I was allergic to something, and I was too busy studying for games. I remembered the past too clearly. I didn't want anything to do with Brittany. The unexpected happened on day 33. Chad and some other guys were chatting in the hallway. I passed by. One of them pointed at me. Isn't that the girl from the Simp List class? What's her name? Chad glanced over. Yeah, she's like, top 3 in their class. Sarah. He called out, Sarah. I nodded curtly and hurried past. I could feel them staring, whispering. I only relaxed once I reached the classroom, but when I turned around, Brittany was watching me, her eyes dark. My stomach dropped. I gave her a questioning look. She gave a tight-lipped smile and turned away. I barely slept for the next 2 nights. Jessica noticed my pale face. You've been having nightmares, mumbling about about things not being your fault. Is something wrong? I didn't answer, staring at a water bottle on Brittany's desk. Jessica followed my gaze. Weird. She usually only accepts designer stuff, but that's some no-name brand. A chill ran down my spine. I knew who gave her that bottle. Last time, only 5 or 6 guys regularly competed for Brittany's attention. One guy, claiming true love, was relentless. He was the one I despised the most, Ethan. Ethan was the top student in our department, tall and good-looking, but from a poor family. His dad was disabled, his mom chronically ill. Their finances were always tight. Yet, he was obsessed with Brittany. He worked himself to the bone to buy her gifts, just to rank higher on her stupid list. I'd thought he was an idiot, throwing away his future for a girl's game. He's got to screw loose, I'd said. After Brittany and Chad went public, Ethan was the one who hated me the most. He was the one who suggested kidnapping me. He blamed me for Brittany rejecting him, convinced my comments had influenced her decision to date Chad. That water bottle. It was the first gift Ethan ever gave Brittany, but this time, Ethan's name hadn't even appeared on the list. Why was Brittany suddenly interested in him? I was racking my brain when Brittany walked in. Sarah, you have to have lunch with me today. I have a surprise for you. I almost refused, but then I saw the amusement in her eyes. Better to face it head on. Okay, I said. She beamed and started filming with her phone. It's for my vlog, she explained, dragging me to the second floor of the cafeteria. I saw him immediately, sitting alone at a table for 4. Ethan. Brittany pulled me forward, practically vibrating with excitement. Surprise! I found the perfect guy for you. Smart, just like you like them. Sarah, how do you know you only like girls if you haven't even tried a guy? The noisy cafeteria went silent. Every eye was on us. Rage boiled inside me. I forced myself to stay calm. Ethan sat there stiffly, staring at me. Ethan, I asked, did you know what this was about? He hesitated, then shook his head slowly. I turned to Brittany. You call this a surprise? Setting me up with Ethan? She continued filming, adjusting the angle. Yeah, aren't you happy? Happy my ass. Should I be? Brittany put on an innocent expression. Why not? Isn't Ethan amazing? Ethan flinched, his gaze darkening with a mixture of resentment and hurt. I bit my tongue, the pain grounding me. Ethan, you know I like girls, right? He looked away, his brow furrowed, as if I'd said something disgusting. I faced Brittany again, gesturing towards Ethan. You know I'm into girls, and you set me up with him? He's the smartest guy in our class. What if this affects his grad school applications? Can you take responsibility for that? Brittany was speechless. I turned back to Ethan. Brittany's just really concerned about your love life. But I'm gay. I felt like I had to be honest with you. It wouldn't be right otherwise, almost like catfishing. You're a great guy, Ethan. You deserve better than this. I bowed deeply. As Brittany's roommate, I apologize on her behalf. Please don't blame her. She's just overwhelmed by all the attention. She wants everyone to be as lucky as she is. You're a great guy, but I like girls. Brittany snapped. She switched off her phone and shoved me. What are you saying? That's not what I meant. I stumbled, feigning shock. Then what did you mean? You wouldn't just be messing with us, would you? Just for fun? My voice rose with each question. The cafeteria was buzzing now. People were taking pictures, recording videos. Brittany's face was bright red. She bit her lip, her voice trembling. I just want you guys to be happy. I shook my head, stepping back. Brittany, I'm gay. A lesbian. You know that. How would we be happy together? You'd be ruining his life. Don't you have a conscience? Ethan stared at Brittany, visibly shaken. Brittany stamped her foot. Oh, come on. It was just a spur of the moment thing. I sighed and backed away further. You're so spoiled by all the attention. She blushed, oblivious to the pain and hatred in Ethan's eyes. Brittany, I said, I'm really disappointed in you. Just don't talk to me anymore. I practically ran back to the dorm. Jessica looked up as I burst in. Lunch already? I shook my head and started packing my things. She stared at me, bewildered. I'm getting an off-campus apartment, I explained. Be careful. As soon as I finished packing, Brittany stormed in. She saw my bags, her face hardening. Sarah, don't think I don't know what you're up to. You're not really gay. I paused, but didn't respond. You're bisexual, she hissed. I saw you flirting with Chad. You think you can play the long game and snag him, don't you? It finally clicked. Brittany saw me as a rival. Idiot. I slung my backpack over my shoulder, ignoring her glare. Think whatever you want. Finding an apartment wasn't easy. By evening, I still hadn't found anything suitable, but I couldn't stand another minute in the same room as Brittany. I grabbed my toiletries and headed to a hotel. Jessica joined me to buy some fruit. We all paid for dorm rooms. Why should we let her have the place to herself? She grumbled. Just be careful, I advised. If it gets too much, move out. It's not worth fighting her. I knew, from bitter experience, that everything Brittany did was calculated. Last time, after she snagged Chad, she'd spun the whole boyfriend ranking thing as a harmless joke, something I'd suggested. Chad just thought she was quirky. The other guys, though, they blamed us, her roommates, and me, the one who'd mocked them the most. I became the target of their rage. Before Jessica went back to the dorm, I grabbed her arm. Seriously, protect yourself. Don't engage with her. I never expected things to escalate so quickly.